How did you sleep last night? Rather better, I suspect, than the man who lives here, because it has been a whirlwind 24 hours for the Prime Minister.
Well, there has rarely been a more bizarre day in British politics. A mass exodus from government ranks, ministers and aides quitting almost by the minute.
And the big question this morning on everyone's lips, can Boris Johnson survive? And if so, for how long?
Wild doings across the ocean. Right now, the Conservative Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, is hanging on to his job by his fingernails as his own party turns against him after yet another scandal. At least 46 members of Johnson's government have resigned since yesterday, including 3 cabinet members. And honestly, they're coming so quickly, it's hard to keep track. In fact, some news channels in the UK, like Sky News, as you see here, have just been keeping a running tally on their screen all day as the numbers went up and up, minute by minute. At this hour, Boris Johnson is still refusing to resign, citing, quote, hugely important issues facing the country, which, yeah, I guess that's true. One official telling Politico, quote, he'll be dragged out on his chair with his heels dug in, while another said, quote, he has lost it and gone full Hulk. Johnson even fired one cabinet secretary, that would be his Secretary of State for Levelling Up, Housing and Communities, who had told him to step down. And that came at the end of a day filled with calls for his resignation, including on live television, as members of the UK Parliament, many from Boris Johnson's own Conservative Party, took turns at the microphone telling him to his face he needed to go.
The Prime Minister is desperately clinging on to his own fantasy, but the public can't afford to put up with this farce of a government a minute longer.
This week again, we have reason to question the truth and integrity of what we've all been told. And at some point, we have to conclude that enough is enough. I believe that point is now.
Once again, the Prime Minister, he puts political survival before public duty.
Does the Prime Minister think there are any circumstances in which he should resign?
I mean, again, take a second. Can you imagine seeing Republicans in Congress talking about Donald Trump like that? And you are forgiven, dear viewer, if you've lost track of which scandal this was that precipitated all this, because there really have been so many. But the most recent happened because Johnson appointed this guy, his name is Chris Pincher, to be a government deputy chief whip in charge of maintaining party discipline. And then Pincher had to resign after he allegedly got really drunk and groped 2 men. He wrote an apology letter about it. But then it turned out he'd been accused of this kind of thing before he was even appointed. Conservative ministers spent days denying that Boris Johnson knew anything about his history of doing this kind of thing. But then yesterday, Johnson admitted he knew about the previous allegations against Pincher and apologized for hiring him. The first 2 members of Johnson's cabinet resigned shortly after. Johnson has still been shifty about what he specifically said about Pincher, and under questioning from Parliament's Liaison Committee, which publicly monitors the Prime Minister, Johnson still feigned ignorance.
Did you say all the sex pests are supporting me, or words to that effect?
People attribute all sorts of things to me. I don't remember saying those words, but people ascribe all sorts of things to me.
That sounds like a yes to me. OK.
All the sex pests are supporting me. OK, the pattern of Boris Johnson, which is well established by now, which is that he thinks the rules don't apply to him, and then he gets caught and lies, and then he tries to bully his way through. It's been his MO for years. He is charismatic, I will give him that, but he's been a charismatic but chaotic wrecking ball that, of course, got Brexit done, and he has survived many less organized calls for his resignation. But what you're seeing now is what it looks like when a Conservative Party decides they have had enough, and that a leader is just too much of a menace to be tolerated, and they are telling him he has to go. This afternoon, senior cabinet members went to 10 Downing Street to tell Johnson he has lost control of his party and needs to step down. And that included some of his most loyal allies, like his Home Secretary, who he appointed to her position on his first day in power. It is famously an echo of what happened to Richard Nixon in 1974, when Republican members of Congress literally went to the White House and told Nixon if he didn't resign, he would be convicted in an impeachment trial. Nixon's resignation was a long time ago, but this pressure on Boris Johnson is a stark reminder it can still happen. Now, Johnson has said he's not going anywhere, but again, things not looking very good for him. And it could have happened here in the U.S. if Republicans had wanted it to. Still might. Maybe someday.